They said this city would collapse under its own weight. Instead, it reached for the sky. This is how New York turned stone, steel, and struggle into the greatest skyline on Earth.
In the early years of the 19th century, New York was not the city of towering skyscrapers we know today. It was a low-rise city, brick houses, narrow streets, wooden piers stretching into the rivers. No one imagined that this small port town would one day redefine architecture for the entire world. But New York was never meant to stay small. The bridge that changed everything, 1883. On a cold spring morning in 1883, thousands of people gathered along the East River. They came to witness something never seen before, the opening of the Brooklyn Bridge. At the time, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world. Many believed it was impossible to build. Others believed it would collapse. The bridge came at a terrible cost. Workers suffered from decompression sickness, accidents were common, and lives were lost. The chief engineer, Washington Roebling, became paralyzed during construction. From his bedroom window, he continued directing the project through his wife, Emily Roebling, who carried his instructions to the site every day. When the bridge finally opened, it was more than a structure of stone and steel. It was a declaration. New York would no longer fear the impossible. The birth of the skyline, 1800s. As the population exploded, land became scarce. The only direction left was up. 3 innovations made this possible: steel frame construction, safety elevators, electric power. In 1890, the New York World Building rose 20 stories high. People called it unnatural. Some said humans were not meant to live above the clouds. But the city kept climbing. The Flatiron Moment, 1902. Then came a building that looked like nothing else, the Flatiron Building. Standing on a triangular plot, it sliced through the intersection like a ship's bow. Critics mocked it. Newspapers predicted it would fall with the first strong wind. It never did. Instead, the Flatiron Building became a symbol of New York's boldness. The city was no longer copying Europe, it was inventing its own architectural language. Racing the sky during the Great Depression, 1930s. The 1930s brought economic collapse. Banks failed, jobs vanished, breadlines filled the streets. And yet, this was the decade when New York reached the sky. A silent war began between architects and developers. Who could build the tallest building on Earth? The Chrysler Building took the lead with its stainless steel crown. In a secret move, its architect hid a massive spire inside the building and raised it overnight, stealing the title of tallest building. But the victory was short-lived. Just months later, the Empire State Building rose higher than all others. It was completed in record time, 1 floor every day. During construction, workers balanced on steel beams without safety harnesses, high above the city. When it opened in 1931, people questioned its purpose. So many offices were empty that it was nicknamed the Empty State Building. But it stood as a message to the world. Even in the darkest times, New York builds forward. Glass, steel, and modernism, 1950s, 1960s. After World War II, architecture changed again. Decoration faded. Clean lines replaced ornament. Glass became the new symbol of progress. The Seagram Building, completed in 1958, showed that simplicity could be powerful. It introduced the modern corporate skyscraper, transparent, elegant, disciplined. But progress came with loss. Entire neighborhoods were demolished. Historic buildings vanished overnight.
people began to ask an important question: what should be preserved and what should be replaced? Saving the Past, Grand Central, 1970s. In the 1970s, developers wanted to demolish Grand Central Terminal. To many, it was outdated. To others, it was the heart of the city. A public battle erupted. Artists, architects, and citizens protested. One voice stood out: Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. The case went to the Supreme Court, and New York won. For the first time, preservation became law. The city learned that its future depended on remembering its past. The Towers That Fell, 2001. By the late 19th century, the World Trade Center defined the skyline, two identical towers symbolizing global power. On September 11, 2001, they were destroyed. The loss went beyond architecture. It was emotional, personal, unimaginable. For years, the site remained a wound in the city. People debated, should anything be built there again? Rising again, One World Trade Center. Eventually, New York answered the question in its own way. A new tower rose, One World Trade Center. Its height was chosen carefully, 1,776 feet, honoring the year of American independence. The building was not designed to dominate, it was designed to endure. Strong, secure, symbolic. It stood not as a replacement, but as a promise. New York remembers, but it also rises. The city today. Today, New York's architecture is a conversation across time. Brownstone homes stand beside glass towers. Art Deco crowns meet minimalist designs. Old warehouses become modern homes. Every building tells a story of immigrants seeking opportunity, of workers risking their lives, of architects imagining the impossible. New York is not the tallest city in the world anymore, but it remains the most influential. Because New York did not just build upward, it built with courage, with defiance, with belief. The history of architecture in New York is not about buildings, it is about people and their refusal to stop dreaming.